does this film hold up? I'm in Salad and I saw Beetlejuice. It is directed by Tim Burton, written by Michael McDowell, and if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This movie starts with following Adam and Barbara. They have a nice picturesque house in Connecticut that they just bought and moved into. Adam has a hobby where he likes to make models of the town, which is pretty cool. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of their style of house. I just wouldn't move in there. I mean, it's cool, it's a cool architectural design, but all the wallpapers, I'm like, bro, what's up with all the wallpapers? Why does it look like that? You know, they're just having a hang old time. They go into town, they do some town business, and then on the way back, they crash into the river and they drown, and then they're back at their house. You know what I like about Beetlejuice? It's a different perspective than other horror movies. Instead of focusing on the perspective of humans interacting with ghosts, we're seeing ghosts realize they're ghosts for the first time ever, and that they're stuck in that house. If they try to leave, they're on Venus with sandworms. Crazy. I like this movie because it's a unique perspective. I've never seen a movie where it's on the ghost perspective. Also, it's interesting, you can carry objects as a ghost. Like, oh, look, I'm being a ghost. I can hold an object, but I can't see myself in the mirror. You realize this and you don't use that to scare people? I swear, they're trying to scare the people out of the house, the new occupants who destroy the house in terms of the current design, and they have a new artsy, kind of, not really art deco. It's hard to describe. Contemporary might be a good way to describe it. Let me know what you would describe this art style that the new people who move in after they die, what would you describe that art style? Pretentious, maybe? What's fun is that they're trying to scare these people, but they don't use methods like picking up an object and holding it like midair, like ever. They throw sheets over their heads, they try to be like, boo, but obviously they can't be seen because they're ghosts. Except for this one chick, her name is Lydia. She likes all things goth. She's a pretty cool chick. But she goes up to the attic and she discovers Adam and Barbara as ghosts. They're like, ooh, you can see us? Oh my goodness, that's crazy. She's like, yeah, I can see you. I like things that are dark and gloomy. Maybe that's the reason why I could see you. I mean, if that's the case, then I could also see ghosts, because I'm a big fan of dark humor, gothic things, all that fun jazz. But I don't know. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Maybe I haven't encountered any ghosts in my life. Who knows? Now it's up to them to decide, man, how do I get rid of these people? And Lydia's trying to say, yo, there's like ghosts up there. And they're like, nah, there's no ghosts. Haha, there's no ghosts. None whatsoever. Ha. Also, fun function of being in Ghost World, you get a book. It's called Handbook for the Recently Deceased. And they have to spend 120 years in that house before they can move on. And there is this waiting line thing where if in case of emergency, make this door with chalk and then knock on it 3 times, and they're in a waiting room full of people who've died, and the way that you die is preserved forever. Like if you die in a fiery car accident, you're scarred. If you get decapitated, you're just dead. With decapitated, your head's there and then your body's separate, and it's pretty cool, right? I like it. It's a nice, cool way. I like Tim Burton as a director. He does great when he does gothic stuff like this, because it's fun. And there's also a little bit of color aspect to it too. Colorful gothic is a great combination. And so they're there and the woman's like, bro, you gotta wait. You've only been in the house for 3 months and you only have 3 times to get our assistance. So you better time these out a little bit more. And they're like, all right, fine. I guess I'll just go home. And then they see this advertisement for Betelgeuse. And I like the advertisement because he's like, I try to get rid of them darn pesky living creatures in your home. They're busy disrupting your house. How about you call me? Just say my name 3 times. In the first initial advertisement that they see, it just says, call me Beetlejuice. It's like, how do we call Beetlejuice? And then a couple more advertisements of Beetlejuice later, then they find out, okay, we just gotta call Beetlejuice 3 times. And then they call Beetlejuice 3 times, and then he appears in the set. And it's like, hello, Beetlejuice. We need your help. We need your help. Beetlejuice is very unconventional. He's like, all right, I guess I'll just spook these guys. What's interesting about Beetlejuice is that Beetlejuice can interact with people, versus these newly deceased ghosts cannot. It makes me think, how old is Beetlejuice really? Maybe he's like 1,000 years old, that now he has the power to interact with people. Like the first time he's called and told, hey, do this thing, get him out, right? There's this paranormal activity, man, that these people who are now living in the house bring over because, oh my goodness, there's ghosts. And this paranormal activity is like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is a discovery of a lifetime. Ooh, wow, amazing. All that fun jazz. And then he turns into a snake, which is crazy. Like the snake tail hits one of the dudes, starts holding him up. I'm like, oh no, that's crazy. I can't believe he can interact with them. That makes me think that you're very powerful. And also the people who work at the waiting room, I don't know what it's called, but they're just like the waiting room. I mean, I guess there's bureaucracies and death. Terrible. So these people are like, come on, you summoned Beetlejuice. That was not a good idea. It's like, come on, we didn't have any idea how to get rid of these people in the house. And I'm just looking, I'm like, man, I like this movie a lot. It's so fresh and new. That's a perspective. It's pretty fun. And so, Beetlejuice, he tries to go after Lydia. Lydia obviously disgusted, and so you have to have Barbara be like, Beetlejuice, 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 to summon him back. And he's like, come on, I was just doing my thing, I was almost getting them done, you know, all that fun jazz. And they're like, okay, we gotta get rid of Beetlejuice somehow. Here's the fun thing about this movie, towards the third act. Barbara and Adam are in trouble, and it's only Lydia who comes in and is like, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, and then she gets distracted, and then she comes back again and says, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And it makes me wonder, how many times in a sequence of time, like maybe 30 seconds or in a minute, do you have to say Beetlejuice 3 times? So if you stop saying the third Beetlejuice before you say it, or you just say Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, can you say the third Beetlejuice in an hour, or is it immediately cancel out? This movie isn't very clear on that, but that's a thought that I had. And Beetlejuice is like, fine, I'll help you if I get to marry you. And she's like, fine, whatever. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Come on, get these people out. Come on, let's just make sure they don't do harm to these people. They're in trouble. Oh no, they're in trouble. Beetlejuice is like, all right, I saved them. Now it's time for us to get married. But like, trying to get him to stop the vows, he ends up sending Adam and friggin' Barbara just elsewhere. It sends Barbara to the sand dunes, in which she rides on top of a sandworm, right as the preacher guy is like, I now pronounce you man and wife, or whatever. Right before that, the sandworm just eats him. It makes me wonder, I know there's a door structure available, but I don't see any other portal or any other thing indicating that they're in a house, and if they leave, they go to frickin' Venus or Saturn or whatever planet it is. It's a planet in one of those planets. I just don't personally understand how Barbara could have ridden on a sandworm and crashed through the house, but it wasn't there. How does she know where to crash? Like, seriously, why? How does she know? This part always like, wait, huh? How did she do that? Overall, Beetlejuice is very fun as a movie, and I like the ending where these ghosts can just be codependent and live in the same place as Lydia's parents, and Lydia can just have a fun old time and do dancing, and she can float because the ghost can make her float. And when the adults that are still alive, they're like, oh, it's the ghost doing it again. And they change the house back to what it was, which is neat. It's a nice ending. Is Beetlejuice dead? Obviously not. He's super powerful. He just probably really hates those sandworms because they're really hard to get out of. That's what I think he hates them for. The ending, Barbara specifically using this sandworm to eat Beetlejuice, I have a little bit of questions about that, and I already mentioned them. But everything else about this movie is really fun and jovial, and it's great. And I really like Tim Burton as the director for this because he really put his touch on it. The Tim Burton touch. The Tim Burton touch. That sounds creepy and gross. What do you think of Beetlejuice? Have you seen Beetlejuice? I hear it's another film. It's Beetlejuice 2. I hope they make a third Beetlejuice, because then they could say Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice for the title. That'd be pretty cool. Let me know if you think of this classic film in the comments below. Let me know if I missed something. I probably did, but I'm just telling you what I really liked about the movie and which parts that I remember most strongly. I gotta give this film, it's a solid 7.5 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another on the platform with likes at $20 Dinas at patreon.com/ASEPresents. One movie review per 1 month. Go to this link to support the daily grindiness of all them daily movie reviews. And until next time, I'm in Salad Saw. See you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits. I'm just standing here, chilling. Man, I hope there's no sandworms. Wow, I can't believe it. There's a sandworm over there and it's coming this way. Why do they always gotta go after me? Come on, man. I just want to hang out and have a peaceful life. Just come, stop, get out of the way, sandworm.